Are you hearing this right now? You literally just transformed that into a sexy sounding snare from literally nothing. Today we are looking at a plugin that isn't reiterating what 1,000 plugins before it have already done. We're looking at something brand new that hasn't been done before, and in my opinion, this is a game changer for anyone who likes loud, punchy, transient heavy drums in their mix. Without any further ado, let's take a look at Slap by Yum Audio and Mr. Bill. We got a beautiful graphical interface here on this plugin, and the main gist of what this plugin does, as you can see in this main window right here, is it actually will take a transient of your picking. There's a long list of things that you can pick from, which we're going to look in a little bit, and it'll replace it with the drum that you're using, so you can give it more of a pop and more of a punch in it. Now, there's all kinds of other stuff going on here, and we're going to read directly from their website because I don't want to get anything wrong. All right, so let's take a look at this shape module first. We have the snap and the tightening, and the snap is going to make the sound more snappy. It's going to make it, it's almost like turning up the transient on it, and the tightening is just going to tighten it up. Then we have the fat right here, which is just going to boost basically the EQ and the compression and allow you to really make your drums sound fatter. And you have two things that you can play with right here, the boost point and the envelope, and that's going to allow you to dial it in perfectly. And as you can see, all of them have their own ring around it right here. And for instance, for the fat one, that's going to be like the dry wet signal. So the clap thing is really, really cool. And what it actually does is it says it adds like a synthesized clap noise to it. And it's going to allow it to kind of drag on a little bit, almost like you're adding some noise in there. And you can pick the timbre and the length on it. Then we got this sub module right here, which is going to add that lower frequency sub to it. So you can really boost some subs into a drum sound or anything that you need more of that. You have the spray, which is just like spray. You've probably seen it on other plugins before. It says it's kind of like a reverb designed to create a spray-like effect when your drums smoothly sizzle out in the top end after hitting hard. So that's freaking awesome. And we got a clipper built in as well. So those are the other add-ons that you get along with the obvious transient replacer, which is the GOAT, the heart of this whole entire thing. And then we have a couple other things in here just to kind of fine-tune it at the very end. First, we have the squash, which is going to be like a little final bit of compression here. We have a low cut just to cut out the lows, and a tamer, which is going to get rid of some of the harshness. So the thing I was really excited to get this and start using it for was the kick drum and how you can just add so much transient and pop to the kick, because sometimes that can be difficult to go ahead and mix. But now that I've been playing around with it, I'm literally going to be adding it to all my drums. So let's start off on the kick. Let's just go ahead and add it on here and see what we got right off the bat. Okay, so this is what the kick sounds like by itself. And with the slap on it, it sounds like this. So right off the bat, you hear that transient, that punchy little chirping sound right here. So let's take a look at this plugin a little bit further now. So we have lots of different transients, and they're grouped in here by clicks hard, ratty, short as fuck, stereo extras, texture, thuddy, all these different things in here. All right, so let's jump into this clicks hard one and just look at this. And then we got all kinds of different ones inside of here, right? We got bright clicks, bright punch, kick extra, just all this stuff that we could go through here and play with. So let's just play with this first one since it's the first one pulled up. Now you can see we have the transient in here, and this is what we're going to be swapping out inside of our kick. So we can actually pick the length of it and how long it's going to actually play. So let's listen to how it sounds right now. That's pretty loud, and you might hear more of this sound in almost like an EDM sort of a track or something like that, but if we go ahead and pull this back a little bit, it's going to make a lot more sense for like trap beats and things of that sort. So let's try this. You hear how awesome that sounds right away? Over here, you also have a gain, so we can turn this up louder or quieter. And I mean, we could even go farther back with it or without it. Now let's listen to it without it again. And with it, it just adds that little bit of extraness that's going to punch above the mix and just make your kick shine so well. And then you can go through and play with some of these. So let's just play with some of these extras really quick. So let's play with the shape here, the snappiness. You can see as we turn it on, it definitely just adds more of that attack to it, makes it just punch way, way harder. And then we got the tightening, which is going to go ahead and tighten up the sound. And that's something that I use other plugins for. When I use transient shapers a lot, I use a similar effect to get that exact effect out of my sounds. And I love it. It almost shortens it up a little bit, makes it more punchy, and just tightens it up. I don't know. That's the best way to describe it. Okay, so we also have this fatten knob if we want to go ahead and make it even fatter. We also have this clap knob, which would probably be better on a clap, but I'm going to show you guys exactly what it does here. Let's turn it all the way up. So you can see we get the length by going along this axis, and then going up and down gives it the timbre. That's what I'm saying. You can add a little bit of noise or whatever, some grit to your snares or claps to just give it that extra little bit instead of having to throw the reverb on there. Now we have the sub as well. We could almost turn this kick into an 808 sample using the sub. I love how well and how clean it just works. It makes it so easy and nice if you need to add a little more sub to your samples. And then we have this spray, which is also like a little bit of a reverb, kind of a shimmer effect. And then we have our clip. Obviously, we got to have the clipper in here as well. So that's starting to sound really, really amazing on my kick. I really love how it sounds. Let's listen to it before and after really quick. So we'll bypass it and hear it afterwards. All right, let's hear it along with the 808 now. Okay, and this is without it. So as you can hear, there's an absolutely crazy difference, and you might be saying, you know, that's a little too much transient for me, but the great thing here is when we go ahead and open up this plugin, we can always adjust this a little bit more, and I love that you can use this window and slide in right here, just like you can do in Ableton. So if we're having a little too much transient, we can literally pull this back just a little bit more to fine-tune it with the 808. And that right there is the sweet spot for me. So let's go ahead and hear everything in context together. We'll turn it on and off just so you can hear how this kick sounds in the entire mix with and without it. Let's look at a couple of these presets because they literally have a million of them in here. Now you could obviously make your own, but let's go ahead. This clap that I have is actually more of a snare sort of a sound. So let's hear what this would sound like. Let's try this first one right here, Make 'em Slap. Now this is what the snare slash clap sounds like on its own. Okay, now let's put this on. You can see it definitely stretched out the note a little bit using that clap thing that I was talking about earlier. It sounds phenomenal. Sounds great. Let's go to the next one. This is also a snare one. Are you hearing this right now? You literally just transformed that into a sexy sounding snare from literally nothing. Let's check out this hi-hat one. It says it's gonna stereoize our hi-hat. Sounds freaking amazing. Honestly, all of these presets sound really great, and I'm just obsessed with this plugin. I'm going to be using it a lot from now on. You guys are going to be seeing me use this quite a bit. All right, guys, like I said, dope-ass plugin. I think this review speaks for itself, so if you want to grab it, I'm going to leave the link for it in the description below. There's a 14-day free trial, so you can at least try it out and see how it works in your mix. Now, if you need some drum sounds to go with it, you got to start with some decent sounds, right? Because you can polish a turd, but in the end, it's still going to be a piece of shit. So make sure you have some good drum sounds to start with. If you need some, I have a new drum kit. Link for that is in the description below as well. Otherwise, you can check out this video right here of my top drum kits of 2022. All of those right there are going to suit you very, very well. And besides that, fam, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll be catching you again real soon. Peace.